KRIS6.com.
We offer a free book on mesothelioma.
Call for the free book and receive so much more.
Call 1-800-831-3700.
Breaking news tonight, President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris are set to receive a national security briefing tomorrow. An historic warning from Biden, who says more Americans may die from COVID-19 as President Trump refuses to accept the outcome of the election and work with Biden's transition team. Biden saying Trump's hampering the incoming administration's ability to rapidly get a vaccine out to millions of Americans. Also tonight, more than 73,000 Americans are hospitalized with COVID. That is a record number. Let's discuss now. CNN's senior political analyst John Avlon and Kirsten Powers are both here. Political reporter for the New York Times, Esther Herndon, joins us as well. Good evening, one and all. Good to see you.
Hey, Don.
Kirsten, I'm going to start with you. You know, the President-elect Biden, very pointed today, warning more people may die from the pandemic if the Trump administration keeps blocking his transition. But the president seems more focused on fighting the election outcome than this deadly virus. Where does that leave us?
Right. Well, I mean, he hasn't taken it seriously at any given point, so he continues to do the same thing. What future President Biden, President-elect Biden, was saying today, I think, is exactly right. I mean, people's lives are at stake. I mean, you said earlier.
¿Qué?
Pues sí, fíjate que mis papás están como encima de mí todo el tiempo, no me dejan de vigilar. No entiendo por qué son así.
Te entiendo de verdad, pero...
Name tag. Would you like to know your future?
That he...
Well, listen, I don't...
Ayudar a afectados en Centroamérica. Castos family, $10.
In most cases,
5:01 airs on Saturday from 11 in the morning until the food runs out. And listen to this, a group of people had gathered for a vigil honoring Castillo when that turned violent.
Oh, he had a real gun.
You heard that one. No one was injured, but multiple shots rang out. This video was taken by a person attending last night's vigil for Ruben Castillo. Earlier today, Eric Tunches, who's the owner of the Corpus Christi Chronicle website, gave us the video and some information about what led to that shooting.
From what I do know from the family of the Castillos, the fight had nothing to do with Ruben Castillo.
Global.
America in El Paso. Directly in front of me behind our camera is long lines, dozens of shops that relied on the people coming in from Mexico, and now those shops are struggling. Last time I came here to El Paso, and here to El Paso Street, it was loud, full of life, delicious food and music. Each one of these stores were always packed with Americans and Mexicans alike. And now coming back, it's almost unrecognizable. It's lost its livelihood. El Paso is a national COVID hotspot, as you just heard Brett say, and the owner of one of those shops, the T-Box, says 80% of his customers were people coming from Mexico. So now with travel restricted, his business is really suffering.
So it's not only me, it's hundreds and hundreds of businesses that they're affected. And to be honest, I've been doing this business for 30 years. So for me to close down my business, if I do that, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life after that.
The United States temporarily limited inbound border crossings from Mexico to essential travel. That does not prevent U.S. citizens from coming back home or even leaving. And those restrictions will stay until November 21st, but it might get extended. Brett?
Ashley, thank you for that report and your reporting. You've been there for 5 days. Tell us all what the mood is like in that city. Is it, you've worked there for 3 years before. There's got to be a huge contrast. Can you describe it?
Brett, it's almost indescribable, the mood shift. El Paso, one of the things I liked when I moved here is the people. Everyone's so friendly, so over the top, you know, hug you, kiss you, and make you tortillas. And I mean, everybody's so nice and friendly here. And the mood is completely different. People are sad, people are aloof, people are standing apart from each other, which is obviously a good thing right now, but that's just not the culture of El Paso. It's hugging, kissing, loving, dancing, celebrating, and it spills out onto the streets usually. And now, I mean, even just standing where I am right now, normally it's loud, 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 and people are having fun, and there's all this music. Totally quiet right now.
Ashley, what about
weird,
masks?
Eerie.
Is everybody wearing a mask? Is there a problem? Can you still go places where people aren't wearing masks, or is that pretty much religion there now?
It's religion here, and I have covered COVID in North Carolina and in Dallas, and in both of those places I came across a lot of people who refused to wear masks or thought it was a hoax or for whatever reason. And here I don't think I've seen one person without a mask, to tell you the truth. Every single person's wearing a mask. There's right in front of me a hand sanitizer station, and I could even see people putting it on in their own cars. So masks are
everyone taking it seriously.
Like
that's good to know. And another question I have, because you know, in Dallas this past weekend, I saw bars everywhere open and crowded bars. Do you see that in El Paso?
Yeah, I saw your tweet, Brett. I haven't been to bars. We did drive down a bar street and there were people coming in and out, but it wasn't packed like your Twitter you mentioned. What is packed are shopping malls. Yesterday, my sister-in-law works at the mall, and she said it was absolutely slammed. They had to call her in for an extra shift. And Kohl's has been packed. Albertsons this afternoon was slammed. So grocery stores, shopping malls. We have seen some restaurants open for dine-in. I haven't seen huge crowds at dine-in like I have seen for lines at to-go restaurants. But
one last question, does there seem to be any palpable, discernible political divide when you're out on the streets? I know we've been covering where the county judge says one thing, the mayor says another. There is this clash. Do you see that? And what do the people in the streets say about the shutdown order?
Absolutely. As split as the local government is, that's how split the people of our El Paso are. And honestly, that's causing some division even amongst singular families. People say, keep the businesses open. We need money. We need income. You're going to kill our economy. But then the other half are saying, what are you talking about? Shut everything down. We're all going to get really at risk if this continues. It's only snowballing more.
Right.
And I'll be interested. There's some nurses at our hotel that we're staying at, and they just looked so drained every time they come home from work. And then we just passed, coming down here for this live shot, another bus of nurses dropping off at a different hotel. There's an ambulance coming, but they all just look exhausted.
Right. Well, we'll look forward to more of your reporting. I don't know how long we have you there, but we do appreciate you being there. Your stories are great. Just keep reporting, and please be safe, Ashley. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Ashley. Well, two major developments today in the race to eliminate COVID-19. First, the biotech company Moderna tonight says initial data shows that their COVID-19 vaccine is nearly 95% effective. And second, word from a top research executive that a vaccine could be ready for distribution by next month. Our Matt Mershon spoke with the head of Benchmark Research, Texas-based firm, helping to conduct clinical trials, and he files this report.
Sign-ups are still underway for COVID-19 vaccine trials at Benchmark Research's 3 Texas locations. But the clinical research company's CEO, Mark Lacey, says vaccine development is moving along much quicker than initially thought.
I believe that we will begin getting vaccinations. Some people will begin actually in December because both of these first 2 companies will be going to the FDA sometime this month or very early next month.
Monday, drug maker Moderna announced interim data suggests their COVID-19 vaccine is 94.5% effective. Last week, Pfizer announced their vaccine was at least 90% effective. Benchmark is conducting research for both.
I think most of the people in the industry were expecting around 50-60% efficacy, and that still would probably get approved by the FDA because it would go a long way towards curtailing at least the spread of the virus.
Even though several nationwide polls suggest there are a great deal of Americans who don't want to take a COVID-19 vaccine, Lacey says with efficacy rates as high as Pfizer and Moderna have announced.
Certainly if it's 90% effective and a large percentage of the American population takes it, then we don't need the rest of the people to be able to take it because we'll build up what they call herd immunity. So the people who do take it will help the people who don't take it not get it because it will shrink the numbers down dramatically.
Meaning far less spread. The double-blind studies being conducted by Benchmark Research on behalf of Moderna, Pfizer, and 5 other pharmaceutical companies participating in Operation Warp Speed will continue. Typically, trial participants aren't allowed to know whether or not they received a vaccine or placebo, but Lacey says he understands those blinds will be removed in this situation.
None of them have said when they're going to break the blind yet. But logically speaking, once we have vaccines that are approved by the FDA, my guess is they'll break the blind very shortly thereafter in order to make sure that people know whether or not they were inoculated.
Terrible mismanagement and disorganization within the Dallas County Elections Department. That today from Dallas County Commissioner J.J. Koch, who is calling for an internal audit into allegations of widespread voting irregularities and reports of thousands of votes being purged. The allegations stem largely from reporting being done by election data analyst Russell Fish of the Open Records Project in Dallas. Commissioner Koch told us today he has received too many complaints about the November 3rd election, and it is time to get some answers.
That's just all the auditing. That is really not done by anyone. And it's crummy because I think that there's plenty of reasons for people to be concerned about how this election was handled. And, you know, if we had a nice clean audit and everything was transparent, I think everyone could walk away feeling good about it, even if their guy lost. But, you know, unfortunately, this is all a big kind of hide-and-go-seek game, and it's extremely frustrating.
Well, we have brought you several stories in the past few days about how the Open Records Project says it has uncovered almost 5,700 purged votes from the Dallas County rolls. That's 5,700 voters whose votes allegedly just disappeared. We have talked to a handful of those voters, all of whom say they were sent absentee ballots but ended up voting in person and were assured that the process would work.
So if we want to be successful in 2022 and 2024, we really need to take a look at, you know, how we did this, the architecture. Are we relying on outside vendors entirely too much that really don't have skin in the game when it comes to being transparent? You know, they just want to slap the thing together. Yep, there's the result. You got the result, and want to move on to make their next $1 million in their next contract. We're left holding the bag. I mean, we're the ones that are here having to explain to our constituents, you know, when someone goes to their door and they find out that they didn't in fact have their vote cast, you know, we have to figure out that and bridge that crisis of confidence.
Spectrum News 1 has reached out to the Dallas County Elections Office for the past 2 weeks, every day for the past 2 weeks. We have yet to receive a response. Stay tuned, and we will be watching to see if an audit is forthcoming. There are more local headlines coming up here on Spectrum just minutes away, but first, here's a look inside the weather.
Autumn air abounds across the Lone Star State. Thanks for joining us. I'm Chief Meteorologist Burton Fitzsimmons. Hopefully you're staying comfortable and safe. I want to start with the good news. pretty nice weather all week. And then this weekend might get some much needed rainfall leading into our Thanksgiving week with updated long range forecasts showing wetter than normal conditions from Texas all the way to the East Coast. Now, fortunately, we are clear right now and there is a shower in progress. It's the Leonid meteor shower. I hope you get out and make a wish. Maybe 10 to 15 meteors per hour, kind of like what we've seen in the past. Now, some years, last year we had 28 per hour, 99 we had up to 1,000 per hour, and in 1966 there were 1,000 per minute. So the Leonids can be, different every year. Best viewing 2 to 5 a.m. away from city lights. Let your eyes adjust to the dark and simply look up. All right, so we start with some 30s and 40s and 50s across Texas, maybe a few 60s south, and it looks like a range of 70s to near 80 for our Tuesday highs. More coming up.
Weather can be beautiful, inconvenient, and at times powerful, and it affects everything we do. At Spectrum News 1, our weather experts update you with the information and the context you need so you can better plan your day. And we do it every 10 minutes. We're the calm in the storm. Weather on the Ones on Spectrum News 1, exclusively on Spectrum. And get your weather anytime on the new Spectrum News app.
If you're over 50, imagine you could turn back the clock on your stiff, achy joints 10, even 20 years. Imagine you could do this without products that just temporarily hide the symptoms and may have side effects. Imagine no more. Introducing Instaflex Advanced. Get a complimentary sample just by texting STUCK to 42424. Instaflex Advanced is different because it targets the root cause of joint soreness and stiffness. It doesn't just cover up symptoms. Instead, it bathes your joints in its unique combination of 5 key natural ingredients found in no other product. Key ingredients backed by 5 clinical studies. Instaflex Advanced is so powerful, you could have better knees in just 1 week. Maybe that's why it's the #1 selling joint brand at GNC. But you can only get your complimentary sample by texting STUCK to 42424. Plus, text now and we'll include a tube of Instaflex pain cream with its exclusive oxygenated oil for fast-acting relief from the pain of arthritis, backaches, and sore muscles, absolutely free. Text STUCK to 42424.
Happy is cooking up your plans for the day while enjoying a meal made just for you. It's thinking about all the places you'll go and never worrying how you'll get there. Or having a light bulb moment that you'll never have to change a light ever again. Any way you paint it, your happy place is with Methodist Retirement Communities.
Welcome back, everyone, and thanks so much for choosing Spectrum News 1.
We have reporters in communities all over Texas. Our mission is to tell the stories that impact you in your neighborhood.
And that commitment extends to explaining the weather that affects everything we do across your town with local forecasts like this.
Wow, not a bad way to start out our week weather-wise anyway. The warmest temperature in Texas was in McAllen, 85. While El Paso only hit 77, Corpus made it up to 79. And I think we're going to stay pretty comfortable, though. Chill in the air to start. Yeah, daybreak, some 40s for Beaumont, Del Rio. We're thinking low 50s, Corpus, Laredo, maybe some 60s here in parts of the lower Rio Grande Valley. Looking at Beaumont, the upper coast is going to be bright and sunny for our Tuesday. Top temperature 76, northeast winds keeping the humidity low, and that means comfort stays high. Grab those shades. You're going to definitely need them out there. Corpus just a little bit breezy. Winds could gust near 20, highs in the upper 70s. Here we go for the Rio Grande Valley. Cloudy morning for some, and then we give way to some sunshine and I think some low 80s. Laredo, we're also looking nice and bright, mostly sunny, close to 80 degrees. And top temperature El Paso, we're targeting 78. Pretty nice looking Tuesday afternoon with all that sunshine. Winds will start to shift. We'll get more of that Gulf humid air by the end of the week for South Texas anyway. Dry, flat pattern aloft the jet stream to the north. Not until this weekend does it start to change again. So we're going to have fairly even keel weather this week. By the time we get to Friday, I see some clouds, a few sprinkles around. Saturday, maybe some showers up and down I-35. Then Sunday, our next front hits El Paso, maybe around noon on Sunday. Slim rain chance as it works its way down into the southern parts of Texas as we look towards early Monday. All right, here's your 7-day forecast. Corpus, sunshine, a little more cloud cover mid and end of the week. We'll get back to some low 80s, and there you see that rain chance. Odds are pretty low right now, but it's something. Rio Grande Valley will get back into the mid 80s for the second half of the week, maybe closer to 90 by Sunday, and then front with some rainfall to start next week. All right, Laredo looking bright and dry through Friday. Rain chance Sunday and big drop in temperatures into Monday. El Paso, I think it's going to be dry, a little bit warm until we get to Sunday, back to highs in the 60s.
At least 4 inmates helped the El Paso Medical Examiner's Office with the overflow of bodies. The inmates are part of a work release program. They were photographed working 8-hour shifts, according to the Texas Tribune. The inmates working have low-level offenses.
El Paso reports 7 new deaths today. There are also more than 1,500 new cases and 83 delayed cases. That's a spike of more than 300 victims than the day before. Right now, there are around 34,000 active cases.
County Judge Ricardo Samaniego and UMC President Jacob Centron toured the hospital over the weekend. They visited with nurses, physicians, and other employees to show their support. We want you to stick around. We have more news and weather coming up for you, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Catastrophe on a national level. Those words coming from a pastor at a church in Honduras. His name is Danilo Chavez, and he was kind enough to send me that video and these images that you see here. People literally standing on roofs. This is the aftermath of Hurricane Ada, which hit Honduras, as you heard Dale say 10 days ago. And tonight, Hurricane Iota, which, as you just heard again Dale say, that it's hitting Nicaragua right now, and it's making its way to Honduras. Here at home, though, there is a church with ties to the third world country, and they're trying to step in to help.
My wife personally is from Honduras. We visited a lot of our sister churches down there, and so we definitely wanted to help out. We have many family members that live down in Honduras, and we really want to love people and help them out. We know that they're hurting right now.
They really are. So if you would like to donate, we've made it really easy. Just go to our website, KRISTV.com, and click on the link to this story. It is going to take you to that church's website. And when we come back, a look at a major scam that you need to be aware of before you start looking for gifts online.
Your 6 Weather 7-day forecast is brought to you by NEC Co-op Energy. To get one simple, honest electricity rate, opt for Co-op. Visit NECCoOpEnergy.com.
When it comes to electricity providers, you have choices to make. Do you want to scroll through hundreds of confusing electricity plans, or would you like just one honest price? The answer is simple. Opt for Co-op with NEC Co-op Energy. When it comes to electricity providers, you have choices to make. Like, would you rather sit on hold for